Bill Sardi, before he died this past year of COVID, by the way, was a huge advocate for was kind of continuous vitamin C. Most people, I hope, know that we're one of the few animals that don't make our own vitamin C. Vitamin C requires 5 enzymes. There are 5 genes that most animals carry that make enzymes that convert glucose into vitamin C. So the starting backbone of vitamin C is actually sugar, glucose. And we have 4 of those genes, but the 5th gene to complete the process is what's called a ghost gene. It's turned off, it's silenced. Great apes, New World monkeys, and guinea pigs are the animals that don't manufacture vitamin C. When animals are under stress, their vitamin C production goes sky high. Why don't we make it? Well, the theory is that our diet was so rich in vitamin C containing plants, particularly fruits in the jungle, that it would be silly to waste glucose in the manufacture of vitamin C if we've already got it. We're very efficient creatures. And the theory is, if you block vitamin C production, you'll save some glucose and you can store it as fat, and that would actually be beneficial. So what? Well, vitamin C, among other things, is critical for recycling glutathione into its antioxidant form. And without vitamin C, you really have a hard time recycling glutathione. Now, I've written in the last 2 books that we really only have 2 antioxidants in our mitochondria, glutathione and melatonin. And so recycling glutathione into its active form is a pretty good idea. And vitamin C, among other things, does that. So what Bill Sardi did was, hey, let's make a mouse model of a human, and let's delete that final gene in a mouse, and so make it a ghost gene so that the mouse can't manufacture vitamin C. And then grow those mice and see how long they live. And those mice only live about half as long as a normal mouse without that vitamin C. So then you go, well, are you sure that's why they didn't live so long? Well, you put vitamin C in their drinking water, and lo and behold, they live as long as a mouse that manufactures vitamin C. So Bill Sardi used to always say, he said, if you extrapolate that data, then a human being potentially could live 250 years if we continuously made vitamin C. Interesting. So I think he's right about that. Again, we know that animals under stress make huge amounts of vitamin C. One of the things that I've studied as a heart surgeon that I've written about, smokers, back in the good old days when everybody smoked, they were skinny, and most of the people I operated on for coronary artery disease blockages were smokers. And the interesting thing about these guys was, number one, they were thin, which made it pleasant to operate on them. And number two, their blockages in their coronary arteries were in the first part of their coronary arteries, where coronary arteries bend when the heart beats. And after those blockages, their blood vessels were gorgeous. They were pristine. They were perfect. So we got a skinny patient. We got great blood vessels down the line where we're going to make a bypass. And man, we thought we were, It was a wonderful day when we had a smoker. Why did they get blockages proximally? Well, it turns out when blood vessels bend, we have collagen in our blood vessels, and that collagen is basically the rebar in our blood vessels. And when blood vessels bend, that collagen breaks, and you have little pieces of collagen sticking out in the blood vessel lumen. Vitamin C is actually essential for re-knitting that collagen back together and making the rebar again. If you don't have vitamin C, then that collagen kind of never gets re-knit and you start putting plaque on it. Smoking is bad for you because of the oxidative stress, and that oxidative stress uses up what little vitamin C we have. And so these smokers were very vitamin C deficient, and that's how they ended up having these blockages. So if you had a continuous supply of vitamin C, like many of the blue zones who are big-time smokers, you can actually overcome some of the negative effects of smoking that I write about in the last book, Unlocking the Keto Code. Nicotine is really good for you. And don't go home saying Dr. Gundry wants everybody to smoke or use a nicotine patch. It's also very addictive. But nicotine is one of the best mitochondrial uncouplers ever discovered. And strangely enough, most of the blue zones, with the exception of Loma Linda, where as a professor, one of their benefits is that they're smokers. Surprise, surprise.
One of my favorite Quicksilver Scientific products is their liposomal vitamin C. It's great for immune support, collagen production, and antioxidant protection. The liposome is a great delivery system for effectively getting the vitamin C into your body. Save 15% by clicking the link in the description, and now back to the show. You mentioned the uncoupling with the nicotine. Anything healthier that has that, say, I know there's a lot of mitochondrial uncouplers. We got into this a lot on our last conversation, but is there anything to simplify that whole thing for people? Is there anything people can take in a healthy realm instead of nicotine to get that benefit?
Yeah, well, one of the easiest things is meal skipping, time-restricted eating. You will generate ketones during that, and ketones are actually a great mitochondrial uncoupler. You can have a cup of green tea, which I'm having right now, or a cup of black coffee. And there, I just uncoupled some of my mitochondria with polyphenols in green tea, or with the caffeine or the polyphenols in black coffee. So, and interestingly enough, people in Greece, Sicario, one of the blue zones, they drink huge amounts of boiled coffee, and the longer the coffee grounds are in contact with water, the more polyphenols are imparted into that water. And one of the reasons we think that they're so long-lived is the amount of high polyphenol coffee they drink.
Coming back to the vitamin C piece, when I think about vitamin C, and I think this is in a number of different supplements, the fact that you can get food-based versus synthetic. And in vitamin C's case, that's ascorbic acid. So how do you feel about taking a supplement, we'll use vitamin C, in a whole food form versus a synthetic?
Well, since it would be virtually impossible to get enough vitamin C in whole food form, just get yourself some time to release vitamin C. If you want to have it made out of, fruits and vegetables, that's fine with me. But the long story short is either take time to release vitamin C, about 1,000 milligrams twice a day, or like Bill Sardi suggested, which is not a bad idea, get yourself some chewable forms of vitamin C, about 500 milligrams, and chew it about 4 times a day. Vitamin C, unfortunately, is a water-soluble vitamin, and we excrete it very rapidly. So 3-4 hours after you swallow it, it's pretty much gone. why not have it as a glass of orange juice? Well, there's beautiful studies that Linus Pauling did in the 1950s, looking at giving healthy volunteers a glass of orange juice. And these people's immune system, their white blood cells, were suppressed for 5.5 hours after a single glass of orange juice. And if you're thinking that you need your vitamin C from your orange juice to help you fight infections, I don't think I want to suppress my white blood cells for 5.5 hours to get my glass of vitamin C rich orange juice.
And I'm assuming that's because of the sugar content?
Sugar content. Yeah.
If you enjoyed that clip, press here for the full episode. I'll see you over there.
So what we're learning, sadly, is, you can have microscopic, nanomolecules of these things, but because they never detach